This is DJ Sandra Dee from The Sweet Beatz Show, and Friday, April 21st, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., I have an exclusive listening party with pop rock singer-songwriter from right here on Long Island, Jack. We'll be breaking down her entire album track by track and hanging out here at our Owwr studios.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Jack. Catch the world premiere of my self-titled debut album and more on OWWR this Friday.
Broadcast live from the top of the Student Union here at SUNY Old Westbury. You're listening to OWWR Old Westbury Web Radio in Old Westbury, New York. Visit us online at owwrny.org. And thanks for listening.
Happy Friday, everyone. This is DJ Sandra Dee coming at you live, Studio A, Old Westbury Web Radio. Make sure you check out our website at owwrny.org. You can get more of The Sweet Beatz Show and all of our fine, phenomenal programming by visiting owwrny.org and click on that schedule button to stay in the know. You can like us on Facebook via OWWR, follow us on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram on the gram, all at OWWRNY. And you can get us on the go by downloading that free TuneIn Radio app, keyword OWWRNY. Our studio lines are now open at 516-876-4964. So today's an extra special day because I basically am flushing the format today. What are you talking about, something? You have a format? Well, yeah, pop and country news and, the tracks and all that stuff. But we have a very, very special guest that I'm so excited for. She's a pop rock singer-songwriter from right here on Long Island, Jack. She's been on the music scene for about 20 years or so. She's been on tour with Bret Michaels back in 2012. She's been featured in 2017 in the movie A Bad Mom's Christmas. And after being a stay-at-home mom for the last 5 years, Jack is finally getting back into music. And I'm not just saying that. She's amazingly talented and ridiculously awesome because she's my friend. She literally is amazingly awesome and ridiculously talented. She's recently released her full-length album on Valentine's Day. She's got some heavy-hitter musicians like Steve Stevens, Justin Derrico, and Corey Trucco, just to name a few on this album. She's opened her merch store, The Mom Shop, featuring music merch with lyrics, and jack of all trades with holiday designs. It's super cute. You definitely want to rock some of her stuff. I promise you, you're going to look so cute, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, and then you can tag her in it, and she's going to be your best friend forever, and it's amazing. So again, her new album is called Jack, and we're going to break it down track by track by track today. So everyone, let's welcome my phenomenal friend, Jack, to the Sweet Beatz Show. Let's go! Good morning. How are you doing?
I am good. How are you doing?
Fantastic. It's always fun to have someone that I literally know.
This is going to be fun.
It's going to be so fun.
We know each other a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time. I mean, how did we actually meet? I feel like there was a little bit of, confusion between this. Well,
we go back 14 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
And I remember I was doing a gig with the band I was with at the time. We were performing at Hot Topic in the hall.
Hot Topic.
And you came to see the band.
Yes.
And that's how we met. At the time, you were working for Radio Disney.
Yeah.
And we became instant friends.
Yes.
We've been in touch ever since, and we've been friends, and you've been a great supporter of mine. So I just love you. And I'm happy to be here with you. It's going to be fun. It's like two old friends just hanging out.
Yes, literally. Catching up, grabbing some coffee.
Coffee talk.
Yes, and I just shout out Jackie Chang, my friend who was the one who actually told me to go see you guys. So I just shout her out. We go back from high school. So and she was like, yo, you got to check her out. And I did that. And I'm grateful for that. So I'm sure later on I will hit her up and she'll be like, oh my God, you saw her, oh my God. She's going to be so excited. So what did I miss? You have such a large life of everything.
Oh boy, where do I begin?
Wherever you want to begin. Wherever you want to begin.
What do you want to know?
Everything.
Music has always been a part of my life since I was a little girl, watching my dad play in a band. He played drums. I grew up listening to doo-wop music, and there was always music filled in my house. And I started taking voice lessons when I was about 7 years old. And I just loved it. I loved performing. I was in theater. I did a lot of things with choirs and competitions, and I just had a love for it. I ended up, once I was a teenager, forming my own rock bands and finding my own niche in what I like to do. And then yeah, the rest is history. I went to college actually right around the corner.
Yeah,
from
where'd you
here.
go? Shout them out. Shout them
I
out.
went to CW Post. I believe they're LIU Post now. I have a bachelor's in music education. I went there for music, so I'm in my old stomping grounds.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What was that like, kind of driving here, and you're like, wow, did you feel like you were going to class, and you're like, wait, I'm going to be late today?
I kind of did. I felt like I was, like, dreaming, like, oh, my God, I'm late for school. Yeah.
I've had those moments where I'm like, I'm going to leave for like a class or something. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a second, that was like a million years ago. You know what I mean? Oh, it's so crazy. That's so
Brings back a lot of memories.
A lot of memories. Absolutely a lot of memories. So other than that, and you and your musical history, like, I feel like that is the coolest thing, that you kind of grew up really doing music and being comfortable with music. Is this something that you maybe someday will pass on to your now little girl? Is it something that you want her, or are you kind of just encouraging her to kind of do whatever she wants to do?
I mean, I always encourage her to do what she wants to do. She's really loving art these days. She loves music, but I'm not sure if she's quite there yet as far as wanting to perform. I asked her if she wanted to take dance, and she's like, no. I'm like,
okay.
You know, she's kind of like in a different mindset right now, but you never know what the future brings. Maybe she'll want to do theater. She really is obsessed with The Wizard of Oz, so you never know.
Ooh, okay. We love The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
I love it so much.
Who doesn't?
I mean, I wanted glittery shoes like her, and I still do.
Yeah.
I have glittery chucks like her, but that's not the same.
Yeah.
Like, she's got the whole high heel thing going on. That is amazing. That is so cool. But I love that. See, it comes full circle, because you've had this extensive music career, and now here you are so many years later, kind of just blossoming, took a break, as a lot of musicians do these days. They take breaks to have families, or a lot of them just keep going as they're, I don't know how they do it. Like, I see all these artists these days, they have babies, and they're like, oh, I'm taking a 2-week hiatus, then I'm going to jump on the road, I'm going to bring everybody with me in the tour bus, including the baby and, like, all the 5 kids that I have.
Right.
You see, like, Walker Hayes doing that, and I'm just like, and now he brings his kids on stage and does, like, these little dances and incorporates some of that. And I love that. I think that's so cool that he's able to do that, and so cool that he welcomes that in his life. And I think that's important, too, because he wants to be surrounded by family. I think he feels like family's important, and it is. So to have them with him on the road 24/7 is probably pretty awesome for him, you know?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been gone a long time. It's been a decade for me, and to get my feet wet again, it's like a whole new, like, nobody knows who I am as an artist. So essentially, I'm brand new to people that are hearing me for the first time. Yeah, I've done some great things in the past, but, I kind of have to start over. So.
Do you find that hard? Do you find it, like, insanely, ridiculously hard to be like, all right, I was in the pool, now I'm out, but now I'm jumping back in the pool again? Like, what's that like for you?
Yes and no, because it's like riding a bike again, but at the same time, you feel like you kind of have to prove yourself all over again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just taking a different route this time. I mean, there's just so many layers as to why I didn't release the songs that are on this debut album. I recorded them a decade ago, and then I just put them in my back pocket, and they've been there ever since. And they kind of, like, saved me in a way, having them there. So there's just multi-layers. I was in that band Jack and Jill that you had met me in, and it was a very controlling environment where I couldn't necessarily be myself as an artist. I kind of had to follow the reins of other people, and without saying too much, I wish everybody the best that I've worked with, but it was just a very controlled environment. And then as far as everything else, life gets in the way. I got married, I had a baby, we got a house, we had renovations, then throw a pandemic in there on top of it. I had COVID, my daughter had COVID, and then all of a sudden you look back and you're like, oh my God, 10 years went by and I haven't had music in my life. But I was so jaded from the last band situation that I didn't even want to listen to music for like a few years. I didn't sing, nothing.
Wow.
And then somehow the spark kind of reignited again this past fall. So I'm just happy to be sharing my music finally with everybody.
I'm happy you are too, because you are such, and like I said in the intro, I'm not just saying this because you're my friend and because we know each other. We've known each other for such a long time, but you literally are just so talented. I was listening to the tracks last night, and I was like, and I'm like, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm uploading pictures, and I'm like, I'm never sleeping tonight. And I was just listening, you know, because I like to do that. I like to really, like, absorb the tracks the night before or, like, the day of an interview, and I'll just, like, listen to them, and I'll get into it. Well, be like, oh, you know.
It's really funny because I didn't listen to the tracks for years. They were just sitting there. So I kind of like forgot what I did, who I worked with, you know, everything. Wow. And I was like, I need to kind of just sit here and listen to them again. I'm like, oh, wow, this is pretty good, you know. But I just had to remind myself that I was capable to continue and to just
power through and keep on going. Oh my God, goodness, that's amazing. And I, you know, applaud you for it, for just keeping on, basically, and just not lose that passion and all that stuff. Yeah. And we're going to talk about each track. We're going to break it down, and also we're going to be playing some influences too of yours.
Okay.
And there may be like a big debate happening too. I don't want to spoil anything, but we were kind of arguing before we got on the air a little bit. I was like, okay, here goes a Jack and Sandra Dee Spitsbat here. So we're going to talk about what the Spitsbat was about. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to talk about that.
Oh, you know what I want to do first, though, is pick a bone with you?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Like, I know this girl 14 years, and in the midst of my 10-year hiatus, I, you know, did some voiceover work, and I gave voice lessons, and one of my students was actually her sister, Claudia. Shout out to Claudia.
What up, Claudia?
And I went to her home where I found out that her name was not Sandra. They looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, who is Sandra? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, her name is Sandra. It's pronounced Sandra. I'm like, are you serious? This girl introduced herself to me as DJ Sandra Dee. So,
you know, it's funny that you say that.
Who are you? Who the bleep is my friend?
And it's funny that you say that because people will say, is it Sandra? So, because I come from an Italian, you know, Colombian heritage, my mom would always, Sandra, you know, it's like flow, like Sandra, but there's no O, but people would say Sandra. So, like, it's, you know,
right.
But then my sisters sometimes will say Sandra or Sandra. Sandra.
This is very interesting.
It's very interesting, right? And then I get the random people who be like, well, do you mind if I call you Sandy? Because, you know.
Yeah, I don't see you as a Sandy.
And I welcome it, but I'm not like, oh my God, I love it. Like, because my math teachers used to call me Sandy, and I kind of didn't really like it very much.
That was like me with Jackie. Hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it. Yeah. It's either Jacqueline or Jack. It's always been.
But now I kind of embrace it. I embrace the Sandy in my life. Like, I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Whereas years ago, I'd have been like, don't even do it. Like, now I'm like, go for it. You know? Especially if it's a cute guy. Like, you can't be like, no. It sounds good coming out of your mouth. It's fine.
It's too funny. So, essentially, I don't really know who my friend is. But I still call her Sandra.
Sandra. That is the correct way. My sisters are drunk, and they don't know what they're saying, so.
All right.
You are correct.
You heard it here.
Ding, 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 ding. More to come with Jack. We're right after this on Owwr Westbury Web Radio.
stations across the country and around the world go all vinyl up to 48 hours. Raising money for student scholarships for those who want to work in radio after graduation. So get ready for the needle to hit the groove. Vinylthon 2023 is nearly here.
And we're back with Jack. Oh, I love that. It totally rhymes. We're back with Jack.
Without the K.
Without the K. Did you know about Vinylthon, by the way?
I did not.
You did not. It's a very special day. It's also National Record Store Day this weekend.
Awesome.
So they focus it around National Record Store Day. So we're going to be in here in the studio spinning
that's why
some...
we picked this date.
Yeah. Spinning some old school vinyl.
There you go.
I learned how to do it. It's very difficult.
Wow.
Because I don't know where the song starts. So if anybody's listening and they're going to be tuning in tomorrow, God bless you. Because I will be on probably for the first hour and not know anything that I'm doing. So I
have full
apologize.
confidence in you.
You know, if you hear an Elvis song and it's mid-Elvis, it's me. I apologize. It's going to be like, hunga, hunga, burn love. And they'll be like, what happened? I don't know where the needle starts. Hey, it's terrible. It's all right. Hopefully our station manager will help me out and educate me a little bit because I'm a little rusty. It's only been since last year, so.
Yeah.
So you have so many parts to this album. And aside from asking you how you got started in music, because we know you started as a little girl, this album, I feel like it's a true book. And what I mean book is like every single song is like a chapter. And it's like you're reading the chapter.
It definitely takes you through a roller coaster of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your party anthems in there, you have your heartbreak songs, you have your ballads, you have your everything in between.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. It's like there's a little bit of everything in this. And one of the first songs that it's definitely, I would call this the single. This is definitely like the debut single.
It's a fun song.
It's such a fun song. Like literally makes me want to just take out a drink and just go at it and have at it, especially on a Friday, you know? I mean, summer anthem, possibly, for some of y'all out there who are listening. I think you should put it on your summer playlist because it would make a great one.
Thank
you. Especially summertime, you know?
I agree.
Have a drink, 4th of July, happy hour. Boom, boom.
There you go.
See? I'm just saying. So tell me about Happy Hour. It's featuring Justin Derrico, and tell me who that guy is, for nobody who knows who he is.
Okay, well, that guy is, like, amazing. He is a stellar guitar player. I'm going to take it back to, I want to say sometime in, like, 2009, 2010. If you've heard of the singer Pink, she's amazing. And I had first learned who Justin was. I was watching a Pink DVD. I believe it was her, I don't know if it was the Truth About Love tour or Funhouse tour. It was the Funhouse tour. And I was so enamored by this guitarist on stage. And I said, wow, like I would love to have a guitarist like that in my band. And once I got to the point where I was now recording my own music, I said, you know what? I'm just going to see what happens, and I'm going to reach out and see if he would record a track or two for me. I mean, I'm a nobody to him, but
Stop.
why not? You know, you have to just take risks sometimes. So I actually reached out to him on Twitter, believe it or not.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and he was very nice, and he responded, and he ended up recording the guitars while he was on tour with Pink. It was the Australian leg of the tour. He had invited me out to one of the shows when they played in New York. They played Nassau Coliseum. And I was just completely honored. He was in his hotel room recording the tracks while on tour with Pink. I mean, come on.
Wow.
So he's just an all-around great guy, and he's so, so talented. And it's truly an honor for me to have him.
That's so cool.
On two of the tracks. So this is the first one, and it's the first track of the album. So
that's like a Cinderella story.
Yeah,
like who does that? You know, like
a pinch me moment. You know?
It is.
I had to remind myself, like, Jack, hello, you worked with so many great people. You have to release these songs.
Yeah.
You know?
More importantly, but the thing like of reaching out, and that goes for anybody who's listening out there, reaching out to someone on social media, like what a power.
Yeah.
Like,
and I sent him my demos, you know, he could have been like, not interested or whatever. But he heard them and he's like, these are really cool. He's like,
that's really cool.
We just were working back and forth with each other. Originally, the song was written by me, Brian King, and Steve Pace, who were my bass player and drummer in Jack and Jill.
So much.
Yeah, me too.
Good guys.
They're great guys. They're like brothers to me. But now Steve lives in Malta. He's originally from Australia, but he lives in Malta now.
Yes, I miss his accent.
And Brian, he lives up in Syracuse. So, but so the three of us wrote the song. I believe it was Steve, or maybe it was Brian, I don't know, that came up with that riff, that
It's very catchy.
Yeah, so when I sent that to Justin, I'm like, I want you to just like tear this up and then some. And he absolutely did that. He went above and beyond for me. When he sent me the tracks, we were just blown away.
That's awesome.
When we heard the guitars. So.
See, this goes to show you out there, if you reach out to someone, you just never know.
What's the worst they could say? No?
Exactly.
That's always been my way.
I may or may not have slid in someone's DMs and said, hey, you're cute. He may or may not have been a Super Bowl star. Travis Kelce. I think he's gorgeous. I know, I'm crazy. It's fine. We know this.
We love you.
So Happy Hour. It's a cool song. But you know what? With a cool song comes favorite drinks. So what is your go-to alcoholic beverage for your happy hour moments?
Okay, I'm not much of a drinker.
Okay, neither am I.
But on occasion, I do like a really nice margarita.
Oh.
Yeah, with salt on the rim.
Very good. We love that.
Being a mom, sometimes you need to take the edge off.
No, I feel that. Definitely. That's excellent. I love that. Yeah, anything fruity for me. I'll go with like a strawberry daiquiri or something like that.
It has to be sweet.
Sweet, yes. Definitely sweet. A little hit of something, that's it.
Yeah.
Take the edge off. Definitely. Well, I love that. So I'm going to have you introduce your song, Happy Hour.
Okay, well, here it is. This is the first song off the album, and it's called Happy Hour, featuring Justin Derrico.
Shut my mouth, walk on eggshells, hold my breath. Keep it cool, let it slide, bow down, be the best. Had enough, gonna crack, think I need a break. People suck, don't know how much more crap I can take. I'll give you one good hint to a place I think that you should go. A little birdie's caught in the middle and ready to explode. You suck the life out of me and I am at an all-time low. Excuse me while I boost my draining battery flow. Taste the flavor of the fun as you swallow it down. Yeah, life can be a drag, so forget it all now. Just loosen up your tie, let it all hang out. That's right. This is the good life, only 60 minutes just to get it all out. It's my happy hour, so I let my head down. It was good for me, was it good for you? I feel so much better now.
Ooh, I love that little record spin right there. See, perfect for vinyl time. So one thing before we kind of like, we're going to veer off into another topic in a little bit. Do you do all your background vocals?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah, and I do them on the spot. I don't really...
Wow.
Like, I'll hear certain things in my mind, but I'm like, just throw me in the booth and let me just do what I'm...
That's impressive. That's pretty awesome, because a lot of people go, oh, I had such and such as a featured backup vocalist or something like that. So I was like, that's one thing I want to ask her. Does she do her own backup vocals?
I do.
I'm sure a lot of people out there want to know the same thing, too. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That is really impressive. That's so cool. I mean, you have your vocal range is just,
Thanks so much.
Like you're out
boosting
there.
My
no, for real. Like, I mean, I've heard you, when you're teaching my sister,
Thank
and
you.
I was like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. So coming up right after this, we're going to be talking about the little riff that we were having a little argument.
How many arguments in a day can we have?
A lot.
That's what happens when you're friends.
I know. But it's a fun argument.
Yeah, it is.
I think a lot of people, they're going to like either laugh or you're going to be like, seriously?
Or roll their eyes, yeah.
And be like, come on.
I think most will roll
their eyes. We're going to find out what that is right after this, only on Owwr. Old Westbury, Owwr Radio, the greatest college station in the nation, y'all.